Hello everyone and welcome back to another edition of West Ham Fan TV's Midweek Musings, the show where I pick you three questions on a Monday. I react to them, then you react to them. Let's get straight into it. I've got a few big ones this week, so let's get straight into number one. Number one, reports over the weekend that Jaap Stam is a possible Bilic replacement. He's a world-class defender. Would he be a better fit? Now, what I mean by that is, although Jaap Stam, not Jaap Stam, sorry, although Slaven Bilic is a ex-West Ham player, Jaap Stam in the Premier League era was that class apart. He was one of the best central defenders ever to come and play in the Premier League. He played at the highest of international stages. There was no doubt in my mind that he was a top-class defender. Now, when you look at West Ham's problems over the last 2 years, really, we had a great season last season. This season's been poor, but we've conceded something like 108 goals in 63 games, which is awful defensively. Now, Jaap obviously is managing Reading, so he probably hasn't got a lot of Premier League experience. But would he be a better fit to tighten up and secure our defence? We've got good defenders, but we haven't got a good defence. I don't believe that Jaap Stam, personally, should be a man we are looking at this stage. Now, he could go on and do very well with Reading. He can go on to manage a bigger club. That's up to him. But I don't think we're at the stage now where we should be looking at a manager in the Championship. If we want to progress, if they want to get rid of Bilic, I honestly don't believe that Bilic should be sacked straight away. I think you should give it a chance. I think that a change in coaches and a change in coaching staff around him may give him a little bit more time. We're at the stage now where I don't think we should be relying on a Championship manager to sort out a Premier League team. If we're going to progress, we need to look big. We need to look at the next stage of manager, like the next class of manager. The same way Koeman came into Everton. You know, he was a very good manager, Premier League proven, and he went into Everton. Same way Pochettino went from Southampton to Tottenham. We should be looking to progress that way if we're going to get rid of Bilic at all. Let's have a look at what you had to say anyway. There'll be a few that agree with me, I'm sure. PEBM 1968, absolutely not. He has less managerial experience and hasn't managed in the Premier League. Bilic should be given minimum 3 months next season. At GH90WHU, so first it's Mancini, now it's Stam. This is like our signing rumours. Lacazette to Bacca to Hogan to no one. I think Bilic should stay. At Mats for it, not a step up from Bilic and unproven as a manager. If Bilic does go, a world-class manager is required. I agree with that. If we're going to progress, we need to step up rather than step sideways. At Billy Dennis 02, why take that sort of a risk? He's only one season under his name and hasn't proved himself in the lower levels, let alone the Premier League. At WHU JJ45, would be one of the worst managers if he came in. He has no experience in the Premier League. Would love Slav to stay. A lot of people agreeing with me here. At Cycling Hammer, this would be the typical of our ball. Cheap option, inexperienced, but Gan hoping to come good. Same logic with when buying players. At Vaz18 Flick 77, Slav put himself under pressure by playing players out of position, turning strengths into weaknesses. This is the issue I have. At Derodia Media, step backwards for an inexperienced manager or on the same level as Bilic. I'd give Slav at least till December, so we should support him. That's obviously considering we don't go down as well, you know. Another couple I'll take on this. At Corey Kemp will be a pathetic choice. No experience in the Premier League. If we have to bring in a new manager, it should be Mancini, in my opinion. Mark Sherburn Brown says, Jaap Stam, world-class defender. It doesn't make him a world-class manager. Eddie Howe would be a better choice if Slav goes. Bruce Roper would be a risk as he's still relatively new to management. Could be better off giving Bilic time and money to build his team. And I'm going to take one more. There's so many. I'm going to take one from Macca 11 Paul. Slav deserves another season. In Slav we trust. Stam would be a backward step. Rather get Dyche or Howe. Stick with Slav. I agree with that. Overwhelming, really. No to Jaap Stam. Number 2, David Gold says that he will sell up if a majority wanted him out. Does this echo what they did at Birmingham City? I'm looking at what they're doing at West Ham, and you know my feelings on the ball. I'm not that happy with them. However, because of what they did for us in 2010, I do believe we should give them a chance to rectify their mistakes. But for me, it doesn't look like they want to rectify the mistakes. It doesn't look like they're interested in doing that. It looks like they're trying to guide us through the Premier League on the cheap until someone with some money comes in and offers it to them. Right, so David Gold saying that he will sell out. This is a similar situation to what happened at Birmingham. They could see no progression. Birmingham, were a lower league side, and they come up through. I believe it was with Gold and Sullivan, but I'm not 100% sure, so don't blast me. But this is what I remember what happening. They made them into a decent Premier League team, and they could progress no further. They started to go into decline a little bit, and the Birmingham fans basically wanted them out. So what they did, maybe out of spite, maybe out of pettiness, there was all these sort of protests and things going on. So they just sold. They just said, all right, you want us out, we'll go. They went, but they sold them to, somebody who they shouldn't have sold them to. So I think it was a bit of spite. I think it was a bit of neglection on their part in the way they sold Birmingham City. They should have vetted the person that they were selling to a lot more, a lot more than they did, and not just sell to someone that's bidding the highest price. Now, in terms of West Ham, because we have no assets anymore, it's a very dangerous game to sell to someone outside of how can I say it without being too how can I say it? It's going to be a risk, a high risk, if you're selling to someone off the bat. And these two have got some previous in not selling it to the right person, and because we have no assets and things, if we got sold to the wrong person, for instance, someone with no money when they pretend they have money, we would be in dire straits. So I am willing to give them a chance, but if they're going to sell, I want them to sell to to someone, either a club consortium, someone else who's a big West Ham fan, or a billionaire, someone that you're not going to have much issue. Someone like Abramovich or the people that own Man City. Somebody who's going to have no issue with money. You run a very fine line when it comes to foreign investment, not just foreign, I suppose English as well. That them people are there to do the best for your club. Now, do I believe West Ham, the Gold and Sullivan, are there to do the best for our club? Mixed. I believe that they are West Ham fans, but I do also believe that their desire to make money and to collect their investment and make a profit on their investment is also strong. So I don't trust them completely. Better the devil you know at the moment until we're a little bit more stable. But they need to start investing in the squad. If they don't start investing in the squad now, then that's going to set a blueprint for the future, and they will have to look for new owners, I believe. Right, so let's take some of your comments at PBN1968. Yes, it does. I'm okay to give the board another year to properly invest and back Bilic. Board won't make any more. Can't make any more false promises. At West Ham, Josh V. The whole situation echoes what happened at Birmingham. Get the club to the point of maximum profit, then cash in. No passion. GH90 WHU. It's Sullivan that's the problem. I won't say that. He's poisonous, that bloke. I honestly think the worst is yet to come. Birmingham fans warned us. In my opinion, at WHUFC JJ45, in my opinion, Goldie's proper West Ham and wants what's good for the club. When with Birmingham, they got change when it was needed. Vaz 18 underscore Flick77. Gold seems a sensible 1 out of 2. I'd only have them to sell up if someone with deep pockets and a vision came along. At Girodo Media, they don't do themselves any favours with their bad PR, let alone club business, but we need to steady the ship before they sell. Then Vincent, it's partly his fault, but he gets so much abuse on Twitter, I think they will move on in a few years, but not just yet. Corey Kemp, 100%, but I honestly can't see them selling just yet. We'll build West Ham until they get more profit from the sale. Well, even if they want more profit, I don't think a West Ham fan would begrudge them taking a profit out of the club if they sold to the right person. But they've got to make sure, we're competitive, because, there is still a major risk of us going down this year, I believe. If you look at what fixtures are left, it's sort of squeaky bum time. I don't think, especially with the 3 injuries, I don't think we're safe yet. So let's see. At Standout1, will alienate fans and sell when no payments for ground are owed to the government for huge profit? All part of the plan. There'll always be payments to the government, mate. They pay rent now, unless they're going to hang around for the next 99 years. At Macca11, Paul, businessman, and they want out. New owners by the end of next season. With stadium, we could move forward under new owners and big money. 2 more on this. Alex PB Sport. Yes, the board need to prove their worth this summer. I do trust them. Do I trust them? No, but they must deliver in the next window. And one last, Tweezer Geezer. It's all well and good them selling up, but there's hardly a queue waiting to buy us. So we could be in the shit if we do. So that's that one. So let's go on to the last one. We always talk of what signings to bring in the summer, but what players need to leave our club? That's a difficult one. We always talk about the incomings, but we never really talk about the outgoings. Now, for me, the summer transfer window and the January one weren't a very good one. I mean, Andre Ayew, I know he's in a good run of goal-scoring form, but he hasn't really shown what we paid all that money for. Apart from them, you've had the likes of Gökhan Toure, Sofiane Feghouli, Havard Narvelt, Edmilson Fernandez, Arbeloa, Ashley Fletcher. Now, none of them really have made an impact. If I was going to pick out a standout name in that, it would be Edmilson Fernandez. I think when the boys played, he's done very well. I think he showed another dimension of what he's worth the other day. But I don't believe he was signed for this season. I just think he was another one like Lanzini who just happened to come off straight away. But, some of the signings have been awful this year. Some of the signings have been absolutely awful. And a lot of them, I believe, have to leave the club. I wouldn't hang on to Feghouli. I don't think he shows enough fight or passion. I wouldn't hang on to Nordveld. Well, actually, I would hang on to Nordveld. I'll give him another, half a season to see what he's all about. I wouldn't hang on to Gökhan Toure. Kaleri, they're talking about buying. I can't see that. But, that he could come good. But, if, as I say, I think the Kaleri talk is just because they know Sakho's off. It doesn't look like Sakho wants to play for us anymore. Andy Carroll will be our only striker. They passed up on Scott Hogan, of course. So we won't have many options left apart from Kaleri. A lot of them have to leave. Who else? Masuaku, I think, should be given another chance. But, Toure, Kaleri, Arbeloa. I think Collins, as much as this pains me to say, will move this summer. I wouldn't want to see him move, but he's not getting much game time. He's getting a bit older. I could see him going to a promoted club or the Championship to get more game time and just finish out his career. Let the likes of Burke and Oxford come in. Toure. Who else? Feghouli. I don't think will make it in this league. It's too physical for him. He doesn't seem to know lot. He knows how to defend, and you need that in the Premier League, really. There's a few. There's quite a few. Let's have a look at what you guys have turned around and said, and see if any of you agree with me. At London United, which players need to leave West Ham this summer? This is where Twitter's 140 character limit becomes frustrating. That just sums it up. At PBM 1968, Toure, Kaleri, Arbeloa, Collins to allow another young centre-back to come in. Sacco, who hardly played in the last 2 years. Sacco, I think, will go anyway. At West Ham, Josh Fee, Nordveit, Arbeloa, Toure, Kaleri and Feghouli all bought in for quantity over quality, not cut out for the standard in the Premier League. Then he had an argument with someone about he's not giving him a proper chance. At Billy Dennis 02, need to get rid of the deadwood and bring in energetic, youthful players looking to impress in the Premier League. There's a young midfielder called Josh Cullen. We all know about Josh Cullen. He should be given a chance. He was very impressive in pre-season. At Vaz 18, Flick 77, basically everyone they bought in during the summer, bar Ayew, they fucked it right up if they decide they've fucked it right up now. They'll have to spend even more, which I agree with. At Derudo Media, out players not performing enough. Carroll, Feghouli, Kaleri, Toure, Fonte, Cresswell, Collins, Noble, Sacco. Oh, that's a lot of players, mate. I wouldn't get rid of that many. Agree. We need to clear out, but we need to invest in youth and players in their prime, not old loan or free transfers. That's what concerns me as well. Like they're looking to get, the names being bandied about in a minute are like, they're not too far off their pension. Toure, Kaleri, Arbeloa, Henry have to leave. Feghouli, Nordveit, Collins, Sacco, Valencia. If we can get better replacements, I forgot about him in a Valencia. Arbeloa, Adrian, Mark Sherburn, Arbeloa, Adrian, Collins, Nordveit, Carroll, and Sacco. I'll start with these by quality and blood youth. Corey Kemp, Feghouli, Kaleri, Arbeloa, Maka 11, Paul. Big names need to leave who are just not good enough to earn up too much. Fonte, Adrian, Carroll, Sacco, Feghouli, Nordveit. A lot of people saying Fonte. He's just come in, so I would give him a pre-season, but he's old. At Jamie B 1985, Feghouli, Nordveit, Toure, Kaleri, Arbeloa. The usual suspects. Even goes as far as to say as Byram and Font. The latter have been abysmal. Come on, your ones, Zark MBS has given me some ins as well. Out Nordveit, Kaleri, Toure, Arbeloa and Spiegel. Ins Oxlade, Chamberlain, Defoe, Malcute and Hart. Here's open. Let's take one more, I think. No, two more. Alex PB Sport. Bilic needs to clear out a lot of deadwood, although there's no point of shipping out players if you don't replace them well. Arbeloa, Toure out. Kaleri has a good attitude, mind. I love to see Malcute in for right back and a half decent striker. I'm going to take one more. At Babbles for Life. WHFC. My man, hard to answer. First board have to give 200 million for 4 good players, and then you can sell. Bilic needs to cash, not 50 million. So there you go. Basically the same as I said. A few surprises there when look. A few people said Carroll, a few people said Font. I'll give Font the pre-season to get used to the Premier League first. But thank you very much for joining us on this edition of West Ham Fan TV's Midweek Musings. You might notice something a bit different up here. I just want to talk you through that a little bit. Basically, West Ham Fan TV is now proudly backed by Ladbrokes. And what does this mean for the content we produce? It doesn't mean a lot. We're going to be producing the same content, even adding content. What this sponsorship does for us, they're going to be sponsoring us over the next 2 months. And what it does for us is it allows us to get in some revenue without shoving product placement down your throat. They're just backing the channel, they're supporting the content, and we thank them very much for doing that. And it might give us a chance to buy some new equipment, buy some new studio space, and improve the channel in the future. So hopefully the sponsorship continues way beyond the 2 months, and we thank Ladbrokes very much for doing so. Once again, thank you very much for joining this edition of West Ham Fan TV's Midweek Musings. we'll be back on Saturday, I believe it is, for post-match pint. There's loads of content going up in the meantime. There's an On The Social this week, definitely. I know that they're filming that tomorrow. There's match previews, FIFA previews. There's going to be, I believe, or is that next week? I'll wait till next week for that. Make sure you subscribe, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at West Ham Fan TV to keep up to date with all the new content, all the latest stuff, all the latest news and views from us here at West Ham Fan TV. And there's one thing left to say: come on, you Irons.